Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Darius from DariusCooks.tv, and I'm sitting here at Soul Crab, Chicago, getting ready for day 2 of training with my management team here. Before we do the first staff orientation and training that is going to happen on Wednesday with the first round of hires. And I needed to do this video. If you haven't seen it, this is how the spot looks. It's pretty dope. We're just about ready to get it cracking and get it open. We're opening, we have a private event Saturday, so a couple days away. We get liquor delivery today. We get food delivery this week. Here's the back of the house, prep area. Hanging out back here. It's a little bright, but you get it. A lot of work for dishwashers. And here's our little open kitchen area, which is pretty nice. Anyway, I have been trying to do this video for the last couple of days, but I couldn't find the words to get the video out. So if you can't find the words to get the video, I'm trying to make a stand, like a bootleg mount to put over so I can talk to y'all. Hold on. You leave it up to us creators, boy. We'll find a way, won't we? Hold on. So I didn't have the words to say, and one thing I know is if you don't have the words to say yet, shut up and don't say anything until you do have the words to say. So now that I had a chance to process everything that happened, I feel like now I can get on here and we can talk, huh? All right, so let me do this. And I should be able to do this. And we got a stand. All right, so listen. The other day, Saturday, I had a chance to work the front of the house at Soul Crab Atlanta. And, a very, very, very interesting situation. First of all, can we just stop for a moment? A year ago today, I posted on social media that I had gotten the keys for Soul Crab Atlanta, and here I am a year ago later sitting in Soul Crab Chicago. So, whoa, what's happening, God, okay? And I'm gonna try not to be emotional on this video because I'm a G. I'm from the west side of Chicago. So anyway, I had a chance to sit at Soul Crab in Atlanta this past Saturday, and I observed a lot of things that I didn't like. It was a stark reality for me that some things had to change and change immediately. It wasn't all bad, so I don't want you to think that, oh my God, it was atrocious. No, it wasn't all bad. Actually, there was a lot of good things that happened. But the good things were overshadowed, in my opinion, by the bad things. I look at things and I measure the success by what could I have learned. And oh my gosh, there's so many areas of opportunity. So I come from a corporate background. We don't call them weaknesses, we call them areas of opportunity. And boy, are there a lot. So looking out at what was going on, I don't think I've spent enough time thinking about like the customer experience, right? I have not spent enough time thinking about what happens when a person walks through the front door until the time they leave. I have been so focused on the kitchen and so focused on the food and staffing the right people for the back of the house, which is why the food comes out great, which is why, for the most part, if you're not happy, I have an amazing kitchen manager who knows how to make it right immediately. Not saying that everything goes great in the kitchen because there's so many variables, but if it's wrong, she can fix it like immediately. So I was so focused on that I have not been as focused as I should have been on the front of the house part of all of this and just the customer experience. We were at a 3.5 hour wait on Saturday. So literally you come, You say, hey, I got a party of 3 people to eat at Soul Crab. It's going to be a 3.5-hour wait just to seat you. A lot of people didn't mind. And people were like, okay, we'll wait. But this is typical at places like Papado, typical at places like Red Lobster. And obviously, you know, I'm okay with the 3.5-hour wait, no big deal. But just that whole experience from like talking to the host and then being seated and then the servers, and it's not always the most pleasurable experience. And I'm not downing anybody, I'm taking accountability for it. I'm taking responsibility for it. And we have some really amazing servers. Like, they've been doing this for a long time, they can make the experience great, they're just the bomb. And then we have some that get a little flustered when there's a lot of activity happening and could use some support in a lot of different areas, okay? Then we got some that just have to go, you know? And we do a good job of getting rid of those who just have to go because they present themselves as one way and then whatever, things change. Again, I'm not putting anybody down, I'm taking responsibility for just the experience and how, like, I just didn't think that it was amazing. I'm not giving up on our people. I made a commitment that when I started a restaurant group, I wanted to create a menu and cuisine that celebrated us through and through. I wanted people that looked like me working for me so that they had an example. And that comes with its challenges in making sure that happens. So you gotta understand the duality, and you gotta understand the battle I'm facing inside my brain. For whatever reason, I couldn't figure it out. I'm like, why is this just not working the way I want it to work? I come from a corporate background. For those of you who don't know, I've been a director in human resources and HR operations and HR business partners for years. I could do a merger and an acquisition in my sleep with no problem. I can shift culture like nobody's business. So for whatever reason, I couldn't understand like why this wasn't working. And then when I became an entrepreneur full time and I opened up, or I started doing like cookbooks and, you know, becoming an influencer online and creating, you know, viral videos, all that stuff was amazing. When I started doing Diner with Darius Cooks, like that stuff was amazing and it was beautiful and it was gorgeous and people enjoyed it and it was a success. And for whatever reason, I couldn't in my mind reconcile how all these things, you know, above 701 and, you know, everything else, you know, my business courses, I'm a beast and all that stuff. But this restaurant business, I'm not a beast in it. Why am I failing? You know what I mean? That's what I'm telling myself. Why is this not working? So I took a step back and looked at a bunch of things. I think my initial approach wasn't the best approach I should have taken. I had a hands-on approach, but from a bird's eye view, and I hired people to fix the problem for me. And I think that was like my mistake number one. A lot of times, people have great intentions, but they too are going to struggle unless you provide structure, algorithm, paradigm, space for them to succeed. So I immediately saw what I had done wrong and how to fix it. Now, am I saying my trouble's gonna be over tomorrow? No, they're not, okay? They will not be over tomorrow. However, I do have some things that we're going to do to make it better. Wanna hear about it? All right, so coming from an HR perspective, one of the things that I'm super big on is staffing charts. Just so that you know how the organization is staffed, who do you need, from what perspective. So I'm gonna show you what I've been using and how I thought it was amazing, but it ain't. So this is our staffing chart. At any given time, on any day of the week, I can look and see the number of positions, my prep cooks, my bartenders, my line cooks, my hosts, my busters, my dishwashers, my bakery, my managers, and my servers. And I can look and see on any day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I can look and see who's supposed to be working and how the restaurant's supposed to be staffed. So this snapshot basically tells me that on a Tuesday, I've got 2 dishwashers in the morning and I got 2 dishwashers at night, right? On a Sunday, or Saturday, I have one dishwasher in the morning and one dishwasher at night, right? So this is pretty much what this sheet sort of tells me, and based on, the positions, we staff accordingly. Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. Somebody who did the analysis, this ain't right, okay? Clearly, we're not staffed appropriately. That's step number one, right? With the volume of people that walk into that front door at Soul Crab Atlanta, and don't get me wrong, it ain't all bad, okay? It ain't all bad. And it's not all not fixable, but the number of people that walk in the front door, I just go, God, dog, we don't have enough people to combat that, number one. Okay, so tomorrow, Wednesday, we have like a hiring spree. My front of the house manager and my kitchen manager, they're going to be interviewing, I think, 40 candidates for all positions at Soul Crab, so we can get the right qualified people in the right position. So that's step number one. Having people is one thing. Having well-trained people is a whole different scenario. So we did have an employee orientation. This is the Darius Cook's Restaurant Group employee orientation. So all employees go through orientation. This tells you everything about uniform, about policy, about attendance, about time off, your non-disclosure agreement, we don't do a non-compete, but your sexual harassment policy, your procedures for attendance and punctuality, our progressive discipline policy, what are our rules and regulations. All of this is in our employee orientation packet that every new hire gets, and we go over when they get hired, right? But I think I just assumed you have a job, you know how to do a job, I pay you to do a job. The issue is that we didn't have, or we don't have, a proper training program that says, this is how things are supposed to be done. This is the space in which you operate. Here's how you do things. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. So I'm waiting tables this past weekend at Soul Crab Atlanta, and we had cups. We have cups. We have tumblers. We have cups. We have these things. These are tumblers. If you come to Soul Crab or you come to Greens and Gravy, you normally get a cup, right? We have tumblers. Plenty of these hanging out. So the host was being helpful. Younger host was being helpful. Not the most refined, but was being helpful. And 4 ladies were at a table, and one lady asked for water, if she could have some more water. The host said, no problem, let me go grab you some. I love that attitude, right? The host brought back water in a container that looks like this. These are our storage containers, or the to-go containers for banana pudding. She gave her a bowl of water and put it on the table and walked away, okay? I had to apologize profusely. Obviously, that tainted the experience for the guest that was there. But in my mind, I'm thinking, isn't it common sense not to serve someone a glass of water in a cup that looks like this? And what I realized is that for some people, this is common sense. This is common sense for some people. And I'm scratching my head because I'm leaving the interpretation of what's common up to the person who's doing the task, not to the person who needs to delegate the task, right? That's just the way I come from. I come from a corporate background where I'm hiring you based on your skills. I'm hiring you based on your experience. I'm hiring you based on your tenure in a progressive sort of career path, so that when you do come into my organization, you're learning our ways, but I'm really relying on your, that's why I'm paying you what I'm paying you. You know what I'm saying? And I pay pretty well for that expertise. The point is, though, is that I did realize that some people just don't know. And it's shocking to me, the number of people who don't know that you come to an interview with a resume. You come to an interview with questions to ask. You bring a pen and a piece of paper to write down information at an interview. You come to an interview looking like you want the job. I did not know the rules of the game had changed. People show up and they ask, for even managers, how much is the job paying? I've never, when did this happen? When did we start doing this? Frontline positions, okay. But since when did we start asking, like, for managerial positions, what is the job paying, or else I'm not considering the job? I'm shocked. I'm 37 years old. I was born in 1981. I thought we waited until there was an offer on the table and we negotiated based on the offer. If I'm hiring you and I'm bringing you back for a second or third interview, that dictates my interest in you. Therefore, whatever your salary requirements are, if I want you, I'll meet those salary requirements, right? I know the rules have changed. Anyway, another conversation for another day. So what I did was, I was so inspired, frustrated. After Saturday, I ran home. I didn't go to bed till 3 o'clock in the morning because I needed to write our Darius Cook's restaurant group. This says server, but it's going to be called front of the house training. I needed to write a training for the front of the house. And this is the new training that everybody, bussers, hosts, servers, bartenders, will go through before they are allowed to work on the floor at any Darius Cook's restaurant. Greens and Gravy Atlanta, Soul Crab Atlanta, Soul Crab Chicago. This is a 90-minute training, a 14-page training that talks about the 11 steps of service, okay? That talks about our introduction, what the job summary is, your duties, the responsibilities, and I'm talking about there are 3 pages of duties and responsibilities, right? You know, always be sure that your food is secure when leaving the kitchen, learn to use your time wisely, always try to take out complete orders. It's important to know the history of the restaurant, help your guests as much as possible, go the extra mile. So these things are in here, right? Please keep your breath fresh. When in doubt, grab a mint. Like, these are things that I just assume people knew, right? If I'm gonna talk to you and I'm gonna be in your face, I should pop an Altoid. I just thought people knew that, but apparently not. So don't worry. So we have it down. We have all of our opening procedures. We have all of our closing procedures here that are in here. And there's a huge section about the guests' experience here, and then also the service. There's a huge section regarding that. And not only that, we're also going to be going over role playing and going over scenarios as a part of the training as well. So here's the deal. In conclusion, this is a long video, but in conclusion, this is being like implemented immediately. I'm gonna get it right with Chicago from the get-go. I have to back into these changes with Soul Crab Atlanta, but we're working on culture change and culture shift. We've got the best leaders that we have. We have people who have tons of heart. I have a kitchen manager, Sade. Many of you guys have met her. She's amazing. My bar manager, DeVetta, is amazing. You met her, or Betta. You met her. She's amazing. We have a new front of the house manager who has years of experience under her belt. Came from IHOP. Her name is Miss Ivy. So she's running the front of the house over there at Soul Crab. My director of operations is Alex, she's amazing. She started as I think a host and a server at Greens and Gravy, and now she basically helps run both restaurants and Chicago as well. So we're starting with those changes, like sort of immediately. We have a huge hiring spree that's happening, or interviewing and stuff happening this week, tomorrow, which is Wednesday, which will be pretty dope to get the right people in the right places. Then we do the right training with the right practice and the right role playing, just to make sure people are ready to go before they're even allowed to serve. So that's the plan to move forward. That along with a few other notes that I wrote that I won't say, but I did want to just first of all thank you for those people who've been rocking with me. I don't come from a restaurant background. I've never been a restaurateur. This is all very brand new to me. The variables are so much more different here than anything else I've been doing in my life, and so I'm learning. And in learning, you don't always pass the test, and it's clear that I have not passed the test at all. We still do amazingly well with revenue. Y'all give us a shot, even though we screwing up this service left and right. Y'all still coming out, y'all still supporting, and for that, you know, I really do thank you for that. just keep rocking with us. It's hard running business. It's even harder running a Black-owned business. I don't have any loans. I don't have any grants. I don't have any financial support. Everything you see came out of my pocket. Nobody gave me a shot. Nobody gave me a loan. All I had was a dream. And if you take that dream and you talk to people at a bank, they won't listen to you. They'll tell you, goodbye, we're not doing this. But here I am doing the best I can with what I have. And I do realize that there are lots of areas for opportunity. Allow us that space and time to get there. And this is part of our plan to do that. So I just want to thank y'all for hanging out. Thank you for coming to support the restaurant. I'm glad you guys enjoy the food. I'm glad you get the vision. If you had a less than a pleasurable experience, my complete apologies about the service, but we're aiming to get it right. I have a call with the team in Atlanta in like 20 minutes, and I'm unveiling this plan to them, and I'm also unveiling it to you guys and showing you on social media, just so that you're aware that, hey, we know the problem, we see it. The buck stops with me, and I haven't done the best job in making sure that experience is pleasurable, but that stops, and we're gonna switch it up immediately. And to be honest, I also thought, this is just, before I start reading the comments and stuff, I also thought firing people and hiring new people was the way to go. Not necessarily, right? You got some really good people who have really good heart, who want to try and make things happen, and you got some who just don't give a shit. But just firing and hiring ain't always the best answer to the question. The people who need to go, but the people who are there and dedicated just require a different way of assimilation into what your vision is and how it should go. And again, I just thought it would click like that. It ain't. So now I see that, and I want to get it right from the beginning. So anyway, I'll be around in the comments if you guys have questions, you guys have comments. I know a lot of people who are trying to open up restaurants, or people who are trying to open up their businesses. You guys watch me for the business acumen. Here's a transparent moment right here that is hard. It ain't easy, and I haven't been doing a good job. So now I need to fix that and make it right. But if you guys questions or whatever, drop them out in the comments. And as I peruse the comments, I promise I won't troll you unless you act a fool. Then I'm gonna troll you back. But other than that, I'll be real good with the comments, y'all. All right, listen, August 30th, Soul Crab Chicago. Thank y'all for tuning in and listening to me. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all like I love bacon. You understand me? Listen, 2 things I want to tell you, as I always do. Food is my life. Life, it is my food. Until next time, I want to wish y'all a happy cooking from my heart to yours. Bye, y'all.